Welcome to this short e-learning tutorial on how to use the apostrophe S in your writing. There are lots of rules and exceptions around this, but I will only look at the main ones in this few minutes. There are also some exercises that go with this tutorial that you can test yourself with, both before and after. Let's begin. S doesn't always take the apostrophe. There are quite set rules on when it does have the apostrophe and when it doesn't. So here you have some examples. The list on the left, there's a range of examples with apostrophe S, and the list on the right, no apostrophe. Can you work out why Group B doesn't take the apostrophe? The answer is Group B is all plurals, so that's several things, not just one thing. So 2 books, several companies, multiple dictionaries, lots of CDs, many KPIs, more than one Monday and more than one Tuesday. So the rule is plurals don't use an apostrophe. This refers to standard words or even abbreviations or acronyms, KPIs or CDs. They just have the S or the IES depending on the spelling of the original thing, but we don't use an apostrophe when we talk about several things. So back to our list of apostrophe S structures. Apostrophe S can mean a range of things. There are basically 2 areas, but it always means that something has been removed and the apostrophe S is in place of something. Either a word has been contracted or a structure has been used in place of a couple of words, and we'll look at those now. So apostrophe S means something has been left out, and we've split these into possession and contraction. And so Sarah's ideas, okay, the ideas that Sarah has: the house of my parents, the tail of my cat or his cat, and the meeting from yesterday. Whereas the contraction is when a verb, usually a verb, has been reduced and combined with another word, and the apostrophe shows you that a letter is missing. Let's look at these separately now. So let's look at apostrophe S as a contraction. Contractions are very common in English, where we have 2 words combined and then an apostrophe to represent the missing letter or letters. So we have don't, do not, can't, cannot. So with apostrophe S it can mean 3 things. The first is the most common, is the verb to be. Apostrophe S means he is. He's tired, he is tired. My car's working, my car is working. It can also mean apostrophe S as has. She's been travelling, she has been travelling. And finally, apostrophe S is us. Let's have a pizza, let us have a pizza. So apostrophe S as a contraction is always linked to a verb. It's cold here, it is cold here. She's got time, she has got time. Let's go, let us go, let the verb. And so making the verb negative is a simple way to check which verb is being used if you need that clarification. So it's cold, it isn't cold. She's got time, she hasn't got time. And let's is unique and is used only to make suggestions. When apostrophe S is used to show possession, there are no verbs, no actions. This is just one thing and the owner of that thing. Okay, so we say when one noun owns another noun. For example, instead of saying the ideas of Sarah, we say Sarah's ideas. The ideas of Sarah become Sarah's ideas, and the words the and of disappear, and it's that we say is captured with the apostrophe S. So again, the apostrophe S means that something is missing. Other examples: the house of John, John's house, Alan's car. So apostrophe S and possession shows the owner and the thing that that owner has, and it's almost always used for humans and the things they own. For example, we don't say the table's leg or the chair's back. We prefer the leg of the table, the back of the chair, or we classify it by saying the table leg or the chair back. So when we start talking about possession, we have the option of speaking about more than one owner or just one owner. And we can show this difference in our writing by the order of the apostrophe and the S. So we have apostrophe S for a single owner and S apostrophe for more than one owner. Let's have a look at an example. My parents' house. That means I'm talking about one parent, the house of my parent. And to show a single owner, we put apostrophe S after the owner, my parents' house. In the second example, my parents' house, we have S apostrophe. So it shows that we're talking about two parents or more than one parent. The house of my parents. One house, two parents. So if we have a look at this structure again, my parents' house. That means the house of my parents, both parents. Now if we extend that structure, that means the house of my parents. And when we use the possessive S, it becomes my parents' house, S apostrophe. Now what we don't do is write S apostrophe S. So we can suppress the second S and just have my parents' house. Obviously this makes no difference in how it's spoken, it's purely how it is written. But the structure would be that S apostrophe means that there are more than one owner. So the general rule is when we speak about one person, we use apostrophe S after their name or after the word to describe them. And if we're talking about more than one person, we use S apostrophe. For example, the director's decision, the decision of the director, or the decision of the directors, apostrophe S or S apostrophe. That's the general rule, but there are lots of exceptions, and we're going to look at two important ones next. So the first exception is that we don't use apostrophe S, we don't use possession in place names, and this has been the case for a number of decades. So we say St Leonard's or Mrs Macquarie's chair. We don't say the chair of Mrs Macquarie, and we don't put the apostrophe S. And the place of St Leonard, we don't call it St Leonard's with an apostrophe. Another major exception to the rule for possessive structures is that we can use apostrophe S for single time periods. Previously I said that we only use this to show the things that humans own, and so there is an exception when we talk about time periods. So we can say yesterday's meeting or last week's sunny weather. We are saying the meeting of yesterday and the sunny weather belonging to last week. So it is showing possession. Yesterday and last week are not human, so it shouldn't be an apostrophe S. But we have to show possession because it's not a description. So we don't say the meeting of yesterday or the sunny weather of last week. And we can't write yesterday's meeting or last week's sunny weather without the apostrophe. So we add that after that noun, after yesterday and after last week, after the time period. As a summary then, no apostrophes with plural nouns or acronyms. With verbs, apostrophe S means is or has. And if you make the verb negative, you can see which verb it is, whether it is or has. And when we talk about nouns, things, apostrophe S represents the structure, the thing of somebody, the object that belongs to somebody. And if it fits this structure, it must have an apostrophe. And the order of that apostrophe, the location of that apostrophe, it becomes before the S for one owner, or it comes after the S if you mean more than one owner. Thank you.